One of my favorite things to do is to be barefoot with white people. Like, hate these like papavaweg fuckboys with their jorts and their fucking loafers. Like, they smell way too clean. I love just being on some hippie stuff, you know, in the bamboo forest. Hi, this is Passion Deez. This is the VICE interview. You might know me from my DJ sets, my club nights, maybe from a terrace, maybe we played dominoes together one time, maybe we shook some ass in Croatia on the beach. You might know me from being out and about, but I guess now you know me from this. This is a difficult question because when people talk about conspiracy, the conspiracy is true. Like, you know, the white man's trying to kill all of us. But like, really? Like, when you think about real conspiracies, I think most conspiracies are true. And my favorite one is probably the lizard people, because people don't have to be real lizards, but there's people out there that don't have your best intentions. So the conspiracy is definitely true. See, I don't really get gifts because I didn't really celebrate my birthday till I was 25. So I only have good gifts. In fact, I just turned 31 like a week ago and my friends bought me like a cowboy hat. I was really stoked on that. In terms of bad gifts, I like everything. If you give me something, I'm really grateful because I didn't get a lot when I was young, you know? I'm definitely an optimist. When it comes to pessimism and optimism, I think, you know, the sun always shines on my shoulder. I feel very blessed and privileged to have had the opportunities I've had in this life. And yeah, I'm never thinking of the worst. I kind of have that producer mind state where I'm constantly trying to fix issues. Like, nothing's ever really that big a hurdle. Yeah, there's an artist whose music that I really enjoyed that I didn't think I would enjoy. There's a Dutch artist called Sophie Straat. She kind of makes like punk music, but it's also coming from like a folk perspective, and I kind of like this whole idea of like anti-folk music. I've never done anything I'm ashamed of. I don't have any shame. I think, yeah, we all have our good days and our bad days, but like, you're a product of your wins and your losses, and I don't feel any shame. And in fact, if I play Nelly Furtado in a club and it makes you feel a certain type of way, I don't care. I want to play Nelly Furtado. So yeah, I'll never feel ashamed of any choices that I make, especially creative choices. Yeah, I think the issues with club culture in the UK is it's very much about chasing skirts and showing wealth, whereas I think nightlife should be about creating third spaces and a space where you can have conversations that you don't have at home, at school, at work. I think it's really important to get diverse people in a room because that's how we understand each other's issues. I think when nightlife doesn't have that, that's when you see rises in extremism, whether that's on the left or the right. That's when you see fascists really winning most elections in Northern Europe right now. If we had a space to discuss these things, we wouldn't have this issue. So a song that I wish I had made myself, like I kind of grew up in the church, that's why my name's Passion, it means the suffering of Christ. And sometimes I find myself going down little rabbit holes where I'm finding really commercially successful Christian music that people don't really know is Christian music. There's this one song which was in the Fast and Furious 2, it's called My Life Be Like, and it's this amazing Christian rap anthem. This might be me showing my age, but I think a clothing trend that we're all gonna regret is jorts. Jorts have never really been cool, and trust me, in 10 years, you're gonna see photos of yourself in jorts and you're gonna look like your dad in cargo shorts. Like, you look like you came out of jail in 2002. Like, it's a wild look. Hey, look, if you chase your dreams, you are filled with toxicity. I think, shout out to everyone who stood by me while I chased my dreams. But yeah, I think if you want to make something, you're not always going to be present for your partner in some shape or form, whether that's the amount of time or the amount of emotional availability. I think that comes from growth and actually understanding what parts of your artistry and what parts are you. So I certainly have been the most toxic person in a relationship. I definitely was the one who was like, no, I don't want to go to that show. I want to go to this drum and bass rave, you know? But at the same time, yeah, if you don't live life, you don't really have stories to tell. I'm from a country called Zimbabwe. We actually have the biggest waterfall in the world. I know everyone thinks it's the one that's at the border of the United States and Canada. It's not. It's actually in Zimbabwe. And thanks to colonization, it's not called what we actually call it. The world knows it as Victoria Falls. And I would really, really love to play there. I think there's something beautiful about how powerful nature is. And I really love clubs, but if I was able to perform outside in my motherland next to this beautiful feat of nature, I think I'll probably have the best time. The first artist I was a fan of, it was this band from St. Albans called Enter Shikari. They kind of fused like new metal with like dance music tropes, so there was like synthesizers, but they also had drummers and guitarists and bassists. And I remember when I was about 12 years old listening to their albums in my house and realizing that I also want to be on a stage. What's the Statue of Limitations? It's like 15 years, right? Yeah, like when I was a kid, me and my niggas, we were real lit. Like we were out here just being menaces, you know, with our skateboards doing graffiti. I think Jackass 3 had just come out. And we were like running over cars. You know what I mean? Yeah. We definitely ran over some cars and I definitely fell off a car roof and landed straight on my face. And while I was waiting to get the bus into like the next town, the police came up to the bus and was like, have you seen anyone running over cars? And I'm just there like holding the bloody side of my face. Like, nah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I get home, this entire side of my face was white for like a whole summer. When I tried covering up for my mom, I tried to put foundation on. Yeah, that shit did not work. She very quickly was like, why is your face lumpy? But either way, I got away with it, statute of limitations. You don't know what town I was in, you don't know how old I was. So, yeah. I think the biggest thing I ever broke was that car and my face simultaneously. Running over a car, bad idea, never do it. Please. One of my favorite things to do is to be barefoot with white people. Like, hey, these like papavaweg fuckboys with their jewels and their fucking loafers. Like, they smell way too clean. I love just being on some hippie stuff, you know, in the bamboo forest.